welcome into Track 'em Tigers for another season. Auburn 27, Oregon 21, a big win on Saturday night out in Arlington. I am joined again this season by the coach, Ron Nelson. Glad to have you back, Coach.
Glad to be here.
Excited to be here for another year.
Exactly. I know I'm looking forward to hopefully a good year by Auburn. I mean, they put a little scaredness and then everything else involved Friday night, but we came out victorious.
Yep. Great way to start the season. Better than a loss.
Somebody says, I'd rather have an ugly win than a poor loss. No, they had never coached before. You take any win you can and you build from it. And I think this is something that we can build from. And I really thought about midway's third quarter, we really dominated the game.
Yeah. Tell you, Bo Nix, 13 of 31, 2 interceptions, SEC Freshman of the Week.
I'm proud for Bo.
Yeah.
I tell you what, I've been knowing him since he was in the 7th grade, and I told his daddy back then. I was working at Auburn football camp, and he brought him up as an upcoming 7th grader. And I told Patrick, I says, "You got a ball player here," and he didn't let me down because he's really played good. The percentage was not good, but you noticed he threw a lot of balls away, and he didn't take sacks. And I'm sure that's what they've taught him. So sometimes your percentage is not going to look good, but you're not taking that negative yardage. I could be wrong, but I don't remember him getting just sacked.
No.
I know he get
I think one time he got one time because I think he was sacked one time. It was the first time he'd been sacked since a junior.
Yeah, you're right.
Junior in high school. I tell you, and I joke about the numbers because they were not great, but like you said, I mean, played way outside of a freshman that was playing at Pinson Valley a year ago, and now here he is on the biggest stage in college football. I thought it was a tremendous effort, especially in the second half. Going to make mistakes, absolutely. And there are going to be more mistakes down the road, but man, what a gutsy performance.
Well, I mean, can you imagine that probably the biggest crowd he ever played in front of was maybe 10, at most 15,000?
Yeah.
To playing in front of 85. And just the pressure coming in as a freshman. He had to me, the most impressive thing, the touchdown was impressive, don't get me wrong, but the pass he made to get a first down when he hit Seth Williams on an outcut, he really threw that ball very, very well. And then on 4th down, when he had the savvy to scramble and get the first down, he's going to take some lumps this season, but he's going to keep getting better and better and better, I hope.
Yeah. Kirk Herbstreit, he made a comment that's so true. He said, look at those eyes. And in the 4th quarter when they were driving down, he said, this is a kid. He's not rattled at all. I mean, he is dialed in. And that's what the coaches were seeing all year during fall camp, during spring camp. I think I don't think there's any question they've got him a quarterback. I don't think we can get too far ahead of ourselves. And they're going to be some tough games. But, man, future's bright at the quarterback position.
I believe so. And, I mean, and he's more than just a passer, as you saw. Patrick's pretty good. He's got pretty good speed. They say that as far as 40 times, he's got a faster time than Gatewood does. And like I said, it's going to be a growing process, just like it was with any other freshman quarterback. And you're only going to be as good as the people around you.
Yeah.
I thought offensively, we struggled a little bit. I thought Oregon. I'm going to give credit to their coaching staff. I thought they had an excellent game plan.
Yeah,
they disguised blitzes, and where you thought the blitz was coming from, it come from the other side, and really tried to mix up Bo and what he was doing. And it mixed up our blocking calls sometime also. But and then offensively, they utilized or neutralized our strength. They threw all quick passes where we didn't have a chance to really get to any pressure on the quarterback. And they ran some quick hitters. They got some fast backs, real quick backs.
Yeah.
And but I thought you got to give Oregon the first half a lot of credit in their game plan. But overall, I thought we made some adjustments at halftime. We got up in their face a little bit more, took away the quick screen, and they was able to get some pressure. And I'm telling you, that quarterback they had, he's a good one.
Yeah.
And
certainly a good one.
And he'll have a future on Sundays to play, and so hopefully, I know we're going to face some just as good, but hopefully we won't have a lot of them that good.
A lot of parallels being drawn to, Auburn playing Washington last year, first game of the year in Atlanta, and now this game. I'll tell you what, this Oregon team, that was a step above what we played last year against Washington. I may be proved wrong. I know Washington won the Pac-12 last year. That Oregon team,
well,
that was a test.
I think they'll be one of the top 2 teams probably out of the Pac-12. Very, very good offensive line. I thought they got tired defensively in the second half, and I'll give credit to Auburn strength coach, Coach Russell. I thought our players like that was in better shape.
It's one of the notes I was taking down tonight as I was getting ready for the show. The physicality of Auburn, and they just seem to be in better shape in the second half than what we saw a year ago. You can tell they did some work in the weight room in the offseason. I mean, it was noticeable.
It is, and I mean, so many things have changed over the last couple of years. Yes, you want to have that strength part. You got to have that part, but there's so much that goes into the agility and the conditioning and the nutrition. I've always been a fan of Coach Russell, and now, like I said, our players held up pretty good.
Yeah. Coach Malzahn taking the play calling duties back. That's been the talk all off season. I tell you what, something I saw Saturday night that I did not see at all last year was he changed his game plan during the course of the game. And that's always been something I've been so frustrated about is when he comes in with a game plan, he sticks to it no matter what. But I thought in the first half, he put too much on Bo Nix. I thought he tried to make him do too much in his first game. I thought he didn't run the ball enough. In the second half, he came back out there. He went to Boobie Whitlow. They established the run game, and no question that was the difference. So I think he gets a lot of credit for adjusting on the fly, something we didn't see a whole lot last year.
Well, you got to take a look because I mean, and Coach Malzahn made the comments before the game. It's going to be a game of adjustments. Mm-hmm. So because you don't know that first game exactly what you're going to get. So I mean, I thought the first half, we kind of played behind the 8 ball and kind of got out of character just a little bit of what we wanted to try to do. And I think after going back into halftime, where it could have been a lot worse, when we went into halftime, hey, we got a chance to win the ball game. Then we made some adjustments and went back to what we do best, and it's the best thing that can happen for us.
Absolutely. We're going to go to break real quick, but before we do, I want to thank Jason Dyer again, Extreme Power Sports. He's back for a second year of sponsoring us. They are back in business. They've got things going over there. Went through a tough fire over there at their facility last year. They've worked really hard to get it back going again. They're our sponsor again this year. Thank you to Jason and his staff for helping us out for another season. We'll take a break and we'll be back in just a second.
Razor XP has earned its place as the world's best-selling performance side-by-side. Now, the off-road's most successful Predator looks even hungrier. For 2019, Razor XPs are cut more aggressively. The chiseled muscular style, premium digital instruments, and wicked LED accents all hint at the heart of the animal within. Choose a Ride Command edition with off-road worthy touchscreen that puts total control at your fingertips. Or grab a Dynamics edition and discover the terrain-dominating power of smart suspension. Extreme performance has never looked so good. Build your XP at PolarisRazor.com.
And welcome back in. You know, coaching college football, there's no preseason. And I think fans, a lot of fans get frustrated watching these week 1 games. They expect him to come out and play like they did last November. We don't see that anywhere in college football, not in week 1. We saw it all across the league. First half, I don't know about you, but the offensive line looked a lot like the offensive line of a year ago. But I tell you what, that second half, there were some vast improvements.
It was. I mean, I think we made some adjustments as far as blocking schemes. Wasn't near the penetration that it was in the first half, and I think that goes a long way for why Auburn won the ball game. And I was reading online where they talked about the offensive line. Went to Coach Mosley at halftime and says, "Lean on us. We can block them," and you kind of saw that in the second half.
Yeah. On the receiving side, obviously, Seth Williams getting all the attention, but hey, Eli Stove, big presence coming back. You had Will Hastings making his return. We're still a banged-up unit, but I think Seth is our go-to guy. I don't think there's any question. I think we're going to see a lot of that as the year goes on. But I'm hopefully optimistic about the receiving game.
Well, we got to have more than just him because they basically double covered him most of the game. Was really surprised at the end when and I think Bo's eyes got real big too when he came out there and saw man-man coverage on Seth. If you get that, you want that what they call a 50-50 ball. You got a 50% chance of catching it, and you like your odds with his height and leaping ability. But we got to keep Eli and Hastings. We got to keep them healthy. They can be game changers, and they can take the slack off. The wide receiver that got hurt, they had to cast on, I think Anthony
Schwartz.
We need to get him back. That's going to be more versatile outside.
That was a big old cast. It looks like he's going to be out for a minute.
So, but if we can get him back in a couple of weeks, which they think they can, that'll be an added plus.
Yeah. Okay, you're an offensive coach. What did you like and what did you not like from first to fourth quarter?
Sort of like you said, I thought first half we kind of got out of character a little bit and probably put too much pressure on Bo. But I thought the second half coming back and running the football and still mixing in the passing game, and then Bo using his legs a little bit because he's going to have to. He's going to be a different quarterback than Jarrett Stidham, and he is going to be more mobile. So, offensively, I mean, first ball game, it wasn't the best in the world, but you gave your team an opportunity to have a chance to win. And if you give yourself a chance late, that's all you can ask for.
What do you work on this week?
I think just everything. You got to come back, and you can't rest on your laurels. You still got to keep working and chopping that wood, as they say, and an offensive line. In order for us to have a chance to be successful on offense, our offensive line is going to have to dominate some people. You're not going to do it every time, but you're going to have to come out and win more battles, and the more battles you win, the more you can win, and that's what they're going to have to do. I would like to see some of the other running backs getting involved. It's going to be hard for Booby to carry it 25, 35 times a game and last the whole season.
I saw a headline this morning that said, "Can Booby make it to November?"
But I mean, we got some other running backs that's going to come on, and like you said, people don't realize we probably had the toughest matchup of anybody in opening first week. We didn't have a cupcake.
Yeah.
And the old adage as a coach is how you get better from week 2 after week 1. So I want to see that improvement against a Tulane team that I'm sure we'll talk about later, but they're going to be better than what people think. And so you just got to keep getting better. We got our timing has to get a little better in the passing game, and defensively, we got a chance to be as good on defense as we've been in a long time. If everybody can stay healthy, and we just got to keep doing the little things. As far as I like when coach is back on the field now, and instead of the press box, and then because he can have his hands on those players a little bit better, and I think making adjustments and you go into the game with a quarterback that they had, you don't want to get beat deep because that's his forte, and we took that away, but then again, they hit the short game.
What did you think of the play calling, especially in the second half?
Offensively?
Offensively.
I thought I'd probably give it an A, as opposed to the first half. We basically took what they gave us, and it was very encouraging to see.
Yeah. Switch to the defensive side of the ball. Kevin Steele coming down from the press box, as you said a second ago, on the field. I think the first half was a shock to a lot of people. They came out and punched Auburn straight in the mouth, and I mean, for a while there, it looked troublesome.
Well, I mean, the first drive, when they took it down on 10 or 12 play drive and scored, I said, oh no, But like I said earlier in the program, you got to give Oregon's coaching staff.
Yeah.
They did a good job of game planning, and they knew that they couldn't go back with a 3-step, 5-step drop. They had to get the ball out of his hands quick to neutralize the front. And sometimes when you have that short passing game, that's just as tiring on the defensive line than it is anything else, because you're rushing, you're having to plant and get back and try to make the tackle or help on the tackle, and it's just I give a lot of credit to them. But after that, they had the long pass when we almost had him for a sack, and they threw a 50-50 ball, and that receiver was 6'5", and he just out-jumped us.
Yeah.
And but you take that out of the equation. I know they left some points on the field, but you know what?
So
Auburn left points on the field.
Yep.
The most discouraging thing that I saw all night long was when we picked the fumble up and we get it down to the 2, and we had to settle for a field goal. I mean, that's when Auburn has got to be man enough to say, hey, we're going to line up and run straight at you.
You ever seen a defensive player that's not a lineman that was slower than Smoke Monday?
And
That guy ran out of gas, didn't he? But Auburn should get 2 yards.
exactly.
Yeah.
And
Great play, though.
But, defensively after that, I mean, second half, we outscored them 21-7. So, we did the part. The most disappointing thing all night long was special teams.
Oh, we haven't talked about that.
I thought our punt coverage was pretty much awful.
Yeah, and for 3.5 quarters, Aaron Sippos was probably the most valuable player on the team.
And
but we couldn't. But I mean, he was booming them, but we just couldn't.
we didn't get
cover.
down there. The kickoff coverage at times was not as good as I thought. After we scored and took the lead, and we got penalized, and we basically had to kick off from the 20, and to allow them to get back to the 30, that can't happen.
No.
The short field goal that we missed, but we'll get better at that.
Yeah.
I know. I can guarantee you there'll be a special emphasis on special teams this week.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to look ahead. Auburn's got Tulane this Saturday. As we were talking on the break, you say Tulane and you just kind of gloss over that and go ahead and chalk up a W. That's not necessarily the case. We'll talk more about that in just a minute.
She's ready. Extreme Power Sports' very own Polaris RZR Skylifter XP 1000. Trinity exhaust, Power Commander, 6-inch portals, RZR 3 to 5-inch lift, MSA 20-inch wheels wrapped with 35-inch BKTs, deluxe audio roof, LED light bar, Mud Park ready. We are ready to finance you on this Skylifter right now. Come check out all our off-road machines today at Extreme Power Sports.
You gonna reset the clock there? All right. All right. And welcome back in. Coach, before we turn to Tulane, let's talk a little bit more about defense for just a second. KJ Brett, man, what a performance.
Awfully impressed with that young man. Reading an article Saturday, his nickname is Downhill. And boy, he does play downhill. And he brings a punch. He's a lot like Bashan Davis, but he's bigger, faster. I think the whole linebacker play. I thought all 4 of them played outstanding, and that's what it's going to take with our front, and when we get a little bit of depth up front, and then in the linebacker core, and our secondary is about as experienced as we've ever had. We got 2 safeties that basically been there and started for 3 years. We got 2 cornerbacks that's been there and played now. So I'm expecting big things from the defense. But they just got to, keep working. And if they do the little things, and basically, defense is all about gaps and gap control. And we just got to do a good job and make sure that they contain their gaps.
Yeah, and let's don't forget Jeremiah Denson, SEC Defensive Player of the Week. at the safety position. Man, we need that, don't
Jeremiah, he probably played the best game he's played all year at Auburn.
we? What do you have? 13 tackles, I believe it was.
And he was all over the field. And, Thomas, 24.
Yep.
We really got two good safeties. And you got Christian Tutt as your nickel back. Knock on wood, I think we got a chance. If we stay healthy, we'll be pretty good on that side of the
Yeah.
ball.
All right, let's turn to Tulane. Auburn welcoming Tulane to Jordan-Hare Stadium this Saturday. Kickoff 7:30 p.m. It's on ESPN2. You can watch it here. Tulane, not a pushover. They beat Florida International 42-14 Saturday. They're coached by Butch Davis, not a bad coach in his own right. They had their way with them. Auburn should win the game. They're a 21-point favorite, but there were a lot of teams this weekend that should have won.
Well, yes, there was. Just if you don't believe it, just ask South Carolina and Tennessee and
Yeah.
Ole Miss and Missouri fans. Thank God we in their problems right now. But Tulane, Willie Fritz, good pedigree, offensive coach. They'll spread you out. Understand they have a pretty good quarterback, pretty good wide receivers. It's not the Tulane of old. He's gone down there and kind of turned that program around. Should Auburn win? Sure. But then again, a lot of people should have won Saturday. They didn't.
Yeah.
And we're not good enough to overlook any opponent if they just come out and play Auburn football. I mean, being the season or home opener, I know it's going to be a great atmosphere at Jordan-Hare, and so I think it'll be a good ball game.
Yeah, talking about that quarterback, Justin McMillan, people may remember he was a backup at LSU, transferred, threw for over 200 yards Saturday, not a couple of touchdowns. So Auburn's gonna, they're gonna have their hands full. They're gonna, especially coming off something like that. A young team in a lot of places. How do you get them ready? They're excited. They're the talk of the nation. I was listening coming in to talk radio, still talking about that game. You got to bring them down and get them ready.
Well, I'm sure they brought him back down Sunday, and after they watched the film and so forth, typically they take Monday off. I'm sure they'll get back to the grindstone Tuesday. I don't think the coaching staff will let them let this go to their head. That game is over with. Jay, I'm not going to harp on this, but I think Auburn's got one of the toughest schedules in the country. And you look at the top 10.
6 of the top 12 teams in the AP poll this week, they'll play 4 of them on the road.
And nobody else has to do that. Our crossover games is Georgia and Florida. Alabama's crossover games, Tennessee and South Carolina. Well, I would take that swap pretty much. But the SEC West, and Alabama's, you start with them at the top by far, and then you got LSU, and then you got Texas A&M, and it's just going to be a gauntlet. And every week, everybody has a chance.
Yeah.
And it's just going to be the team that can stay healthy and getting better. And that's the key that we got to hopefully that Bo will learn a lot from this week to next week, and we'll just see him just get better and better every week.
Yeah. Let's talk about the SEC. The Twitter was abuzz Saturday before Auburn pulled out its win. A lot of losses, but they were lower tier losses. The ranked SEC teams won. But let's talk a little bit about that. Tennessee. You know that coaching staff a little bit.
I know Coach Pruitt, Jeremy. I know he's down the dumps. You just don't supposed to lose to a Georgia State that last year went 2-10, finished last in the Sun Belt Conference. I'll give Coach Sean Elliott, now I'll give him credit. He had his team prepared, and they didn't look like a 2-10 team.
Yeah.
I don't know if they got some transfers that came in.
And he's not a bad coach. A lot of people don't remember. Sean Elliott took Steve Spurrier's place when he abruptly retired at South Carolina.
And did a good job.
Yeah.
And he's a player's coach. The kids are going to play for him hard. I was flipping back and forth between the Tennessee game and the South Carolina game, and I'm just thinking, well, any minute now they're going to blow it open. But you got to give Georgia State credit. They just took it to them.
Yeah. They look more physical. They look faster. Boy, that's going to be.
People just don't realize that the mess that Tennessee was in. And it's going to take Jeremy some time.
Yeah.
I hope the fans at Tennessee are patient and will give him that time to get
Yeah.
his home players in there.
Yeah.
Because right now he just don't have the players that to compete.
Yeah.
And he lost some players from last year. They had a decent year last year, but they lost a lot of seniors, and it's just hard to replace them with freshmen.
Yeah.
So
Well, I think they're going to have some mercy on Pruitt. He's in his second year. Somebody I think they may not have mercy on is Will Muschamp. I mean, in my mind, one of the best defensive minds in the country. They don't get any better coaching defense than Will Muschamp. But boy, he is in a world of trouble.
Coach Muschamp he's a great man. He's like you said, a great defensive coach. They struggled on offense. I thought Jake Bentley was pressured way too much. They just didn't look in sync on offense. But that's things that those coaches will correct. And but sometimes, no matter how good a coach you are, if you don't have them Jimmies and Joes, it ain't gonna matter.
Yeah.
And you got to have quality players, and you got to have quality depth. I think right now, defensively, we finally got the quality depth that we need to have a chance to be successful. And offensively, I don't know if we have that depth right now, but I think if they'll keep progressing, that we will.
Yeah.
And it's going to take it with this schedule.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
Sure is.
Yeah. Coach, thank you. Thank you for joining us on Track 'em Tigers. We look forward to seeing you next week. Again, Auburn taking on Tulane Saturday night at 7:30 on ESPN2. War Eagle.
War Eagle.